Hello, sports fans, and welcome to Season 2 of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Eric Kohler, your proud host of this season's show. Hey, fans, I tell you what, new season in the air, very excited, and our goal is to give you inside access as we get behind the scenes with updates from coaches and student athletes to know everything about the college athletics at Eastern Florida State College. With that being said, it's my honor to bring back the Associate Vice President of Athletics and the head coach of women's soccer. We got Coach Carr. Hey, Jeff Carr, how are you?
Good. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
I tell you what, we got a good season going on, huh?
Well, we hope to. We open up this Friday.
Well, I'll tell you what, last year, obviously, national runner-up 2015. I know you're kind of a little disappointed by the fact of one win away of bringing home that national title in Melbourne. Do a little recap of last year of all the good that came out of that season.
Yeah, well, we had a successful season. We only had one loss, unfortunately, was in the national championship game. That was a very talented squad. We have one now, Julie Hernandez, playing at UCLA. She actually scored in her first game on Friday night against San Diego State. We had two others go to Stetson, Camargo twins, and we have Arnella Kordick playing D1 at UNF. And then we had 6 others go on to play at the NEIA or Division II level. So great group that we lost, but we brought in some very talented freshmen that we're really, really excited about.
Well, continuity of success, obviously. I think that double overtime loss, or win, I should say, against Monroe, I think that really kind of set the emotional trend for the national title game. You think that had a little bit to do against the team against Iowa?
Well, probably because we were really spent in that game. Friday night, in less than 24 hours, we had to play for the national championship. I mean, we still had our chances in the game, but unfortunately, we couldn't finish. And they scored late, and that was the difference.
Well, congratulations on being preseason #1 this season. Looking forward. Obviously, you have a sophomore contingent that disappeared. Now you got a lot of new faces. How do you do that continuity of success of not rebuilding, but more so reloading, as you would say?
Yeah, that is our mentality, that we actually are reloading. So, preseason was critical for us, that the girls get to know each other, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. So they've become really close, and we've done a lot of team activities as well as playing the game. So very talented. This may be the most talented freshman class I've ever had. But we still got a lot of work to do, but we're really excited. We have 3 returning sophomores, and then we had 2 transfers from a D1 and a D2, and then the rest are all new freshmen.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't get a lot of chance to assimilate. You play the #2 team in the country as your season home opener right there at the Titan Soccer Complex. You're going to find out who's going to come on under the lights.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right away, big test, first game of the season. So we're excited about that and playing at home. So we hopefully have a great crowd. It's free, 7 p.m. on Friday night.
So what's the biggest thing? Continuity of success. This is your 7th season, and continuously you have 2 national title runner-ups in 2012, 2015. What's the secret in the kitchen, Coach?
Well, I think there's lots of things. I think Dr. Ritchie, our president, he's kind of a huge supporter of athletics. So he's gotten us the facilities, the funding, the scholarships to be able to recruit the top players, not only in this country but around the world. And he's done that for all our sports. So I think that's one of the main reasons. Plus location. I mean, we're in Melbourne, Florida. We're 10 minutes from the beach.
Right.
And the facilities, the weather, I mean, it's the whole package. And we've done a great job recruiting top student athletes.
Now, how do you do that with recruiting? Like you said, you got the location. Obviously, Melbourne, Florida is a great spot, but notice you have a big international flavor. How do you get in contact with some of those players to find out what Melbourne, Florida is all about in Eastern Florida State?
Well, fortunately, because of our history, a lot of them are contacting us.
Okay.
At this point, but also, I like to talk a lot, so I have a network of coaches all over the world that I can touch base with, and they've helped me connect with some of these players as well.
Well, I tell you, you wear 2 hats now, too. You're the head coach in your 7th season, but also, the associate vice president of athletics. How do you do that in terms of time management? That's a lot on your plate, Coach.
Yeah, it is a lot of time, and my wife doesn't see me especially much during the soccer season, but it's a passion of mine. I just love, we have 11 sports now in athletics. We added 2 new ones this year, men's tennis and women's golf. Facilities are unbelievable. I mean, I'm just a supporter as well of all our athletics. I want them all to do well. And
Right.
then, I have a passion for the game of soccer as well. So I feel blessed to be able to do both and, get paid for it as well.
Well, I think that's great. Now, what are some of your goals and expectations of the soccer team on the pitch?
Well, we have 2 new members in our conference, so the conference has gotten a lot tougher. I've actually scouted almost every team, seen them in scrimmages. I'll see one more team this Saturday. But, there's a target on our back. We Fortunately, we haven't lost in conference since the first season, but that's going to be harder to do. Our goal is hopefully to win a conference championship and compete, and hopefully qualify for the national tournament, and hopefully compete for a national championship. But it's a process. We got to get better every single day. When we go out to practice, it's our mentality, it's our attitude. We got to approach kind of a blue collar type mentality that we're coming to get to work, punch in, punch out type of mentality. They all have lunch boxes this year to kind of go along with that theme. So
nice.
they all
bring your lunch pail.
Yep. So it's an exciting group, but we got to work every day to get better.
I'll tell you what, as you rebuild, or I should say reload, it's so hard. You only get to see these kids sometimes 2 years. How do you distinguish that? You get 2 years, you get them for the freshmen, you get the sophomore, they're gone. That's going to be a big challenge as a recruiting tool.
Well, yeah, because I actually came from a 4-year university before I was here. But, you got to get used to it. But, there's lots of pluses as well, because it's rewarding for me to see, like, the Julia Hernandez go on to play at UCLA, be a major contributor there, start to, see where these girls started. So, there's lots of different reasons why players will come to us. One, they may be under the radar, or they need to develop before they can go on to play at that D1 or that D2. But it's very rewarding. But sometimes it's sad to see the kids go after 2 years, because they're great kids. You build a relationship with them, and you pass them on to someone else.
Yeah, I think it's a great talent for what you do, to be able to go out there, put that energy to get the kids to come for 2 years. You finally get that relationship, and all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah. It's sometimes, the older I get, I kind of feel like their father as well. And I get gutted sometimes when they leave. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're excited about Eastern Florida State College. What is the direction going forward? Obviously, we have 11 varsity sports. You want all those teams to succeed. But what do you see the vision for Titans athletics for the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, just to be the very best that you can be on and off the field, off the court. So we want to be competing for national championships in every sport. Our facilities, we want to attract quality student athletes. We want the community to support us. We want to be part of the community, to give back to the community. That's why we have all these different events. We're hosting the national championship this year, and women's soccer we have for the last 5 years. We hosted the golf national championship this past spring. So, and that's bringing money into the community as well. So we do put the money into our facilities, but we're hoping to have big events come to attract other events here to make money for the community, just like having the USL team here this year. So, we want to give back and make an impact in the community, not just on the field, but in the classroom, and make a difference in the community.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, it's nice to get to know you. Thanks for your time. Good luck this season. And obviously the national title being back in November 2016, this very well could be the year of redemption.
Well, we hope so. We hope so.
I'll tell you what, this is Jeff Carr, the Associate Vice President of Athletics and the head coach of the women's soccer team. We're going to take a short break. Keep it locked in. You're listening and watching Inside Titan Sports. I'm Eric Kohler. That's Jeff Carr. Coach, have a good day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. We talked to Jeff Carr on the women's soccer coach. And now let's switch gear and talk men's soccer. With that being said, welcome to the show, Oliver 12 Trees. Hey coach, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me on.
I'll tell you what, very exciting. Obviously the preseason preview, a lot of things going on, but the men's soccer team, your 4th season. And in 3 seasons, wow, you've made us a national contender just like that. What's your secret in the kitchen? What's your secret recipe?
Yeah, a lot of hard work, and what a great area for football this is. You know, Brevard County is a really hotbed for the game, and we've been able to bring in some great local players as well as a little bit of international flavor like the women have, and created some really quality teams.
I'll tell you what, 42 wins in 3 years, coach, and a program's best 15 last year, made the semifinals. In such a short period of time, you being a former player and now being a coach, people are buying into Eastern Florida State College.
Yeah, it's a wonderful organization. I've worked at 3 different universities around the country, and certainly this is a place where they really support athletics, and that's a wonderful place for a coach to be. So we're excited to be here and building something special every year in all our sports and all our programs and departments. The kids really have an opportunity to grow and become something special in their lives.
I'll tell you what, Coach, what a great association you have with Orlando City Soccer, with the B team and the USL team, especially locally in Melbourne. That really has to bring up the exposure of the program, the national spotlight.
Yeah, I certainly think that partnership that we've been able to develop with Orlando City, whether it's the USL team or we're playing at our field, or whether it's just the opportunities that have risen for players to perhaps try out for the first team and have an opportunity to practice with the first team, as well as myself doing a little bit of analyst work for them as well. So it's just all around just great relationship to have with Orlando City, which is the monster of Central Florida really in the sporting world.
With that being said, for people to get to know you as a coach behind the scenes is you're doing a little moonlighting on the sides. You're doing a little radio, TV, a little sideline reporting. Tell our fans a little bit about what you do on the side.
Yeah, I work as an analyst for Orlando City, so I'll go and do the pre-game and post-game show for the TV, and then sometimes the radio as well, and then I do the commentary for the USL, so it really gets me involved in the game at every level. I coach club as well here in Brevard County, so really involved in the game at the club level, at the youth level, and then the college, and then getting my feet wet in the pro game as well. So it's just been a great move for me moving here to Eastern Florida 4 years ago.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're lucky to have you. Now, you also, on a personal side, you have 2 young sons. And how do you find the time management with family, all the stuff you're doing on the side, and obviously being the head coach of Eastern Florida State College? That's a lot on your plate, Coach. How do you manage?
Yeah, certainly. Just got married as well. Just went to Vegas and got married. So, that was a great experience, and did spend a little too long in Vegas. 10 days maybe was a little bit too ambitious for the first time, but, great. Yeah, obviously my career has always been a huge focus for me, and trying to balance it is not easy, but, great things to be motivated and stay focused on.
Well, I'll tell you what, very exciting times. Now, you have a strong contingent of sophomores in this season's roster, and obviously, at the state college level, that's a big deal. That's almost like your senior class. What are your goals and expectations as you come in preseason ranked number 3 in the country? That's pretty strong, Coach.
Yeah, I think this is my 4th year starting this program, and this has been the best group of sophomore leadership that we've had. Obviously, we've had sophomore leadership before, but starting the program from scratch, this is really the second run around. And really this group of players, including J.J. Donnelly, Juan Pereda, Craig McCall, they've really brought back an essence of this is what we're going to do. And it's really helped the younger players. This is our expectations. These are our standards that we want to hold the younger players to accountable. So far, 5-0 in the preseason,
Wow.
Beating NAIA Division II and Division I teams. So it's been a really, really quality preseason, and we hope to take that on to the real thing starting this weekend.
Now, that's a big thing. You said 5-0 in preseason, very, very strong against some good clubs. What do you look to pull out of preseason play, get the looks in some of the players? What is your thing that you draw out of that 5-0, but just get some looks on players? What do you look for?
We split our season up into 5 phases. And
Okay.
Phase 1 is the preseason. So the goals of the preseason is to develop our fitness, develop our chemistry, show solidarity and defensive shape. So those are really the main focus of Phase 1, and I think we've done that. We've had 2 shutouts, which has been good.
No.
And, we just build into our second phase, which is now our non-conference schedule. And we've certainly achieved the goals of Phase 1, and now we're on to Phase 2 and see if we can get some dubs.
I'll tell you what, getting some dubs. Now, what are your goals and expectations of this team? Obviously, with the preseason ranking, that's very, very high and stuff. And I know it's one game at a time, kind of a cliche, but how do you relay that to your team in your way as coach?
As I say, by breaking the season up into these phases, I think it allows us to not get too far ahead of us. Everybody likes to dream, and everybody has those dreams of what they want to achieve down the road, but we
Right.
really do try and have one practice at a time, one day at a time, try and get better and improve, and then we're going to hopefully achieve all our goals, and the wins are going to come. So we try not to get too focused on those things far down the road. We try and get a result every time we step on the field. We want to win, and we expect to win. We evaluate the players after every game as well. We give them little scores, and we have individual meetings as well to make sure they know where they're at. And we find if we do those things, do the little things,
Right.
the big things, the big wins, and hopefully that big trophy at the end of the year will be ours.
I like that. Now, obviously, this is an inside show, so we want to get some access for our fans out there. What are some funny stories that led you to move from the United Kingdom to the United States? Give me something that might give our fan base out there watching a little chuckle.
Well, as an athlete, as a coach, you've always got to overcome some adversity.
Right,
and
right.
you know what? My first day, it's a story not many people know, and I'm actually saying this on live TV.
I like that, Inside Titan
my
Sports.
My first day in America, arrived in JFK, and actually broke my arm in the airport.
Oh, wow.
Broke my arm in the airport. So my first 2 weeks, I was in a hospital bed with a broken arm. But you know what? I overcame it, and here I am with my dream job, living in Melbourne, Florida, and overcome that adversity. So I overcame a lot to get here, and still trying to do that every day.
Well, I tell you what, that's an interesting way, fans, to come into America. You're right there in a hospital bed. But I tell you,
Yeah.
I guess the sequel with all the 12 Trees is going to be coming to America, too.
There you go.
But I tell you what, it's very, very exciting time to have the affiliation of Orlando City Soccer and moving forward. When you go out there and get these international kids, what's your sales point for the kids to come and play for the Titans?
Yeah, I'm selling a dream. I'm selling, come over, work hard, get that degree.
Right.
Play at the next level. We have a number of players playing professionally now, so we're really trying to recruit the best of the best. We're trying to recruit players that have just missed out on full professional contracts in the Premier League, in Spain, in Italy, in Germany. We're looking at those types of players that didn't quite make it, and they want another bite of the biscuit. They want another chance to see if they can move on and get a pro contract, get a degree, and get a scholarship.
Yeah, I tell you what, soccer has really grown in this country, and the fact of the matter is, what was the age when you moved over to the United States and had that tough start in the hospital
23,
bed?
23.
23. Now, the fact of the matter is, can you imagine to see the explosion on the American scene? A lot of stuff that I do for college football really is the number one sport in America, but now you're really seeing that, football, as they call it in Europe, or soccer here in the United States, the explosion is unprecedented. I mean, can you
Yeah,
expound on that a little bit?
It's really been a steady growth. When I first came over 15 years ago, the MLS was in its infancy, and now it's just big money signing. Kaká, David Beckham's, Steven Gerrard's are always coming to America. Everyone wants to experience that American dream, and
Right.
The way they do sports. Obviously you've just seen USA top the gold medal chart at the Olympics, so they're doing something right here, and a lot of people want to be part of it.
I'll tell you what, now your season opens on the road this weekend, Friday and Saturday, up there in Mississippi. San Jacinto has received some votes, so that's going to be a good challenge to start the year. And what can you tell about these upcoming games Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, San Jac are already a fantastic team. They usually battle with Tyler for that number one berth in Texas. So it's going to be a great test for us and an opportunity for the team to bond a little bit. We've got a nice 10-hour bus journey, so I'm sure we'll have a few team quizzes, a little bit of banter on the bus, and maybe have a few boys singing some songs, initiation songs as well.
I like that karaoke style, but I tell you what, this is Oliver 12 Trees, the head coach of the men's team, and good luck this season. You're always welcome back on the show. Coach, thanks so much.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back, fans. You're listening to Inside Titan Sports. Keep it right here.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Welcome back, fans, to our final segment of Inside Titan Sports. Eric Kohler. We were talking about some soccer. Now let's jump to the hard court. It's time to talk about tennis. We got the head coach of the men's and women's tennis team. We got Jerry Thor, and we got sophomore player Juliana Hull. Hello, guys.
Hi. Thanks,
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
I'll tell you what, preseason preview, you guys excited about a new season?
Yeah, we're off to a great start. Players are working hard. Everybody's starting to fit in. It's a brand new program. And we're looking forward to showcasing all the players' talents tomorrow night, 2 o'clock.
I'm very excited. Now, Juliana, obviously you're a sophomore. This is the second season of the women's team here at Eastern Florida State College. Tell me about your first year experience and now looking forward. Now you got a year of experience underneath you. Going forward, what do you expect this season?
Well, this year is pretty different. This year we have a lot of talent. And since the coach came last year, so everything was new. But this year, I kind of know the way he wants things to be done, and yeah, this year is going to be fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's amazing how 1 year makes a difference. So, I mean, from last year, everything was new, and now you say you understand his expectations as coach. Now, Coach, go on the figure is that the second year for the women's team. Now, the men's team, this is going to be the first year. Now, you're the coach of both squads. That's a lot of time constraint. How do you manage that, Coach?
I think the key is just being organized. Also, when we recruit players, try to look for more mature players that can buy into our system. We're not looking for people that want to, go march their own beat, so to speak. Right. But having Julie here, she's been with me from the start. My first day was her first day in Melbourne, so just kind of she sets the tone for the women. Also is helping out with the men's players, getting everybody situated, and it's just so far we're off to a good start.
That's pretty good. So basically, you're working together in one direction as the men's and women's tennis team. Now, the women's team last year, pretty good season, 10-9. What are your expectations for the women's tennis team? Now, Julia, you as a player, you being the captain and stuff, you say there's a lot of talent there. What do you guys expect as a player?
Well, as I said, we have a lot of talent this year, so we definitely want to go to nationals, maybe even win nationals, and we want to have a better record than last year.
Coach, you're platooning two teams. You got a men's and women's team now. That's a lot to put together. Obviously, the thing is, too, from the grassroots. What is the goal for you right now in terms of getting the men's team running and continuing the success you had last year with the women's team?
Yeah, well, it all started with kind of the vision of the administration. They bring me in, give me a year to recruit our men's program, and make no mistake, we're not on a 5-year plan here.
Right.
We want to take the elevator to the top, and so we brought in some high-level players, and now we have them working hard, and just kind of help having that championship standards of every day we're coming in, working hard, and we know what we're working towards. And strong leadership on the player side is important, and Julie's been helpful, and we've Justin on the men's side stepped up. It's our local guy from Palm Bay, and so the team's been working hard, and we're excited to see where we can take this thing in year one.
Well, I'll tell you what, very, very excited to have you guys on set here. But the fact is, the men's team, you had to bring in all these new faces. How many members of a squad makes up the men's team this year?
And most teams have 8, so we've got 8 men.
Okay.
Gives us flexibility to add a few at semester. We've got 10 women, so it's kind of a big family. 18 players, 15 of them are brand new to the program in Melbourne area. So it's really important to see them gelling well and making good friendships now. That'll hopefully carry them through the rest of the semester.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, that's a lot of personalities to come, obviously, with the women's team and now the men's team, to get everybody to know their nuances. And everybody kind of goes to a different beat of the drum. How do you keep everybody going in that same direction, though, with the two teams together?
Yeah, they're trying to learn me and my style, too, right. and I'm trying to learn each individual player, how they've been coached in the past, and, try to gel those two. And we just have a system in place that had success. I've coached top 5 JUCO teams in the past, and then at the Division I level, and I feel like we've got the best team I've ever been in charge of here. In year one, basically, is our first recruiting class at Eastern Florida. So really excited. And I hope the community comes out and supports these good players.
Now, speaking of community, you have a showcase that's taking place this Friday. Talk about that, of how people can get involved about the tennis programs.
Yeah, right away we want to show off who we have, because I feel like if the community comes out and students come out and support them and see who's on the court, they're going to be there all season long. The level of tennis is really incredible. So tomorrow night at 2 p.m. we start things off with doubles, and then we'll play singles match, and it should be a great atmosphere. We're expecting a lot of people out.
That's pretty good. So that's 2 o'clock Friday, the Blue and White Showcase. Now, Juliana, obviously being a sophomore, being the captain, you come from Costa Rica, a beautiful country. I've been there before. Tell us a little bit about the story of what drew you to the United States, now the beautiful Sunshine State of Florida.
Well, first, for every international tennis player that wants to come to the States, they're always looking for Florida because it's great, like the weather and everything. Especially here in Melbourne, we're like 10 minutes away from the beach, which is great. And like my last 3 years of playing tennis back before coming here, I was getting prepared to be here because that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, it's like a recruiting process, but I was pretty lucky to get here.
Well, that's pretty good. Now, was there ever a barrier in terms of language, of picking up English, or did you learn this in school back in Costa Rica?
Yeah, I went to a bilingual school since I was like in kindergarten, so that was really helpful.
Well, I think that's great because, you see a lot of international players now with a lot of the teams here with the Titans, and the fact is you wonder if that's a barrier of some of the teams because that makes it a lot easier to assimilate, Coach. Now, have you recruited a player that's come to you're not like Juliana, obviously, is fluent in English and Spanish as well, but someone that maybe had the language barrier. Have you ever come across that, Coach?
We have a few that are still getting more comfortable with the language, speaking it every day, but that's something we try to identify in the recruiting process. Can they come in as freshmen and be successful in their academics in the classroom? And so I think for the most part, we've got a good group that right away from day one can communicate, and communication is so important, especially
Absolutely.
bringing in freshman players, getting used to life in America, and we've got a group that we want to compete in academics as well. In every program here, we're pretty competitive amongst the coaching staff to see whose players can do well in the classroom.
Well, Coach, it seems like you have administrative support here on the Melbourne campus, and I think that's important to grow these programs. But I also think it's something to know over in Orlando, they have the USTA headquarters. They're going to be headquartered there very soon in the next couple of years. I think that's going to be a great presence for you and your tennis teams.
Yeah, the top pro players in the world are training here in Florida. And so, of course, recruiting, you mentioned Florida to anybody, no matter where they're at, and they understand that this is where the top players want to be. This is where the top players want to compete. And so to see that development like Nona over there is exciting. We hope to be able to be out there and participate in a few events. We also have an outstanding facility on our Melbourne campus, the Titan Tennis Center. It's an 8-court facility, the lights. It's just an unbelievable experience, and our players get to practice on it every single day. So, the facilities that are being built in the state and right on our own campus, it's just great to see. It's great for our sport.
Well, I'll tell you what, good luck this season. Nice to meet you both. Juliana Hull, we got Coach Thor, and I tell you what, that's going to be a wrap of Inside Titan Sports. This is our first edition of the 2016 fall campaign. Remember, fans, check us out for more information. Check out EFSCTitans.com. as we'll be on every week Thursdays at 8 o'clock, getting the inside and VIP access as Inside Titan Sports. For our entire crew and all the coaches and Juliana Hull, one of our players, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Until that time, I'm Eric Kohler. Go Titans!